Hi, welcome to my podcast, The Happy Hacker with Ambition. This is, today is Saturday. Just watching Indy go out to get some hay in her new bit. We gave her a new bit of paddock. Oh gosh, I started this podcast a little while ago actually. But anyway, it's been an interesting week. So we've had lovely Ken Skinner out to look at the ponies. Unfortunately, Indy had a very sore back, which in shock, it did shake me actually quite a bit because obviously I brushed her and everything, put rugs on, well, rain sheet on, new rain sheet, and she wasn't dipping at all when I was doing that. But Ken came out, touches her, and the first thing she does is go, "Oh, my back's really sore," and you feel really guilty as a horse owner. And it's kind of like something that Ken has worked on with her before, because at some stage he'd mentioned to me he was worried. He'd said the terrible words that all horse owners hear at the moment, which is very popular, I think, is kissing spines. But as he'd said, as he'd worked on her, he knew it wasn't kissing spines because she kept getting better. And he said, with manipulation and also the point where it was sore was moving slightly. So he said that's not right. So he said that isn't what that is. So I think that's really important. Also, I mean, it's something you used to hear about it, but generally in racehorses and stuff like that. But now you hear about it everywhere. She's been done. We were meant to be going out. I'm going to say meant to be, because I said to my work colleagues when we had our farewell Zoom, because I'm now on 2 weeks holiday and leave at the end of the month, I'd said, oh yeah, I'm going to go out competing, and I was going to do a little dressage competition with her this weekend. So obviously you can imagine that I would not go out with a horse that's got a sore back. So she definitely didn't have a sore back. She's now standing in the sun, chewing the hay, looking really happy, just chilling, because the sunshine's beautiful, but the wind is quite chilly. It's a beautiful blue sky. It's a lovely, lovely day, and I'm feeling very happy. But quite miserable that Indy has got a sore back. So Ken said to me 48 hours off, which was from Friday, because I forgot to ask him how long she needed off, and bless him, he emailed me back. He's so good. Anybody in East Anglia, I can't recommend him enough. So good to us. He looks, he just gives a little bit of extra time to you. It's quite interesting. We're waiting. He said yes, 48 hours off. If she still looks a bit sore, then keep her off again, contact me. Kind of think he's expecting me to give him a ring on Monday and go, I need Sue to come back out. I am hoping that I haven't got it wrong and that she is okay. It's just one of those things with Indy. It's always going to be a little bit forward step, back step, I think. Obviously I had been lunging her. I'd been having a very short lessons with Laura on her, and I was going to ride her this morning prior to us having the backs done, obviously, and everything else, and the neck, some of her neck was out as well. Really interesting how horses do things, and as he said, completely different to how he saw her 3 months ago. 3 months ago he said she was a perfect pony, and now she's not so perfect. What are you looking for? Just wandered over to scratch her nose on the blue tub. Not sure why she's doing that. Anyway, so that's how quickly things can change. So I've entered, but I may have to just ring them up and withdraw. Well, I probably am going to have to ring up and withdraw. There's no point me taking Eek instead, because Eek she doesn't enjoy going out to competitions. She just enjoys being ridden. So I will probably just have to suck up the fact that I've lost the entrance fees again. So that's what's happening at the moment. I'm going to go out and ride Eek in a little bit. I'm a little bit behind. I'm always a bit behind, aren't I? I think all horse owners are a bit behind. Because I had some other errands to do. We bought some new hay down. I've eaten all the old hay now. Well, I haven't, but the horses have eaten all of my hay from last year. So I've now had to go on to this year's hay, which is something, as I was whittering on about earlier, that you never used to do. You'd always eat the hay from the year before. But it's not something that goes on anymore. I wonder if that's why hay used to be a bit dusty. Don't know, it used to make me sneeze an awful lot, I know that. The wind's picking up. When the wind picks up, it is a little bit, I can't believe it, I've just picked all the poo up. She's having another poo. When the wind picks up, it is a bit chilly actually. I've just spoken to Laura, and she's about to go out, and she asked me to put the rain sheet back on Hector, and because he doesn't keep his weight on. He's older, he's 22, and he's looking amazing at the moment, but it doesn't need much for him to shiver off a little bit of weight. And he just feels the cold. He always feels the cold. All the other horses are fine, and he'll feel the cold. So I've just gone and done that. What else have I done? Spike, unfortunately, isn't too great. He has been lame. He pulled his shoe slightly. Laura had the farrier out. Jessie must rue the day that's taken over doing our horse's feet, because he spends a lot of time coming back to us, bless him. He, I'm going to turn the electric fence back on. I've just crawled underneath it. No, you're not coming out. You've got loads of grass in there, more than you should have. Anyway, he came down. We thought perhaps it was an abscess, because Spike has had an abscess like that once before. What's going on here? That's all. Don't drink that. So Laura and I poulticed it up. Very funny, sending photographs of videos of me running Spike up and down see what he looks like. And it looked like one leg, and so we did that. We had the farrier out again, and he said that he was slightly reactive on all the way around. So obviously immediately you start going, oh my goodness, what's wrong? And then the vet has been out, and we're taking it from there. We're waiting for some other details now, and then we will see. So he's got his front shoes off, and we'll have Jesse's coming anyway on Friday to re-shoe everybody, and he will probably have all his shoes taken off. I am contemplating taking Eek's shoes off, because before, probably when I first got her, Eek had never had shoes on, and it was quite amusing when I first walked her down the road, when she had her very first set of front shoes put on, and the clip-clopping of it, she didn't know what the noise was. It was really funny, which probably I shouldn't. It's probably wrong to laugh at your pony, but anyway. So since then, because I upped the road work, and we were doing road work then, I used to have shoes put on her. Now, she is, as I'm sure you can remember in the last couple of weeks, she's pulled new shoes off she just kept pulling her shoes. So I'm thinking now that I won't have her feet, I won't have her shod, but obviously she will have her feet done, trimmed, because after all that is the most important thing, getting the foot balanced and everything. So she will have, I may let her go without shoes for a bit, and and just take it from there, because she's quite, she's an Arab, she's hardy, and we don't go on the roads. And even when I did the hack over where I live, and the tracks are stony, they're being driven on all the time now, those tracks, and the softer ground, which I can ride on as well. As we go into the winter, that will be softer. So I'm thinking that's what I might do. I don't really know. As I said, I was going to go out competing this weekend. Probably not going out competing this weekend now. What else have I done? Oh, I had bought a new rack for my saddles. Just what I was looking for. It's not new, it's second hand. You can't get them too easily now anyway. And it holds 2 saddles in the back of the car, which is awesome, which is just what I wanted, because I've always got 2 saddles. I've always got Eats and Tia, gosh, I never put saddle Tia, Eek and Indy saddle in the car, because I'm always going to be riding one or both of them, generally both of them. And if I'm going to an event, you've got your dressage saddle in it and your jumping saddle, so you kind of need to have enough room. And I've been looking at these saddle racks for a long time and been watching them, but because we've had so many issues trying to get hold of stuff in the UK currently, there's like out of stock, can't get hold of, don't know when it's coming back into stock, that kind of thing. I couldn't get hold of one, and the way I'd set my car, I'm just what I'm doing at the moment, it's just taking everything out of my car. The way I set my car up was, I like to be able to make sure I'm not damaging the saddles. That's the whole point. If you have something that's the wrong, you can really damage your saddles very quickly and easily. And I wanted my car to look a little bit tidier than it did. And it is very much, I'm going to take my jacket off, it's quite warm now. It is very much, I'm just changing my microphone. The tack room, that's what they call it, that's what Laura calls to it. Tack shop on wheels. I'm going to open the door because Blueberry's in there. You all right, Blues? She came in because earlier on when we were down here, she was running about, and then we could hear, it's only a single gunshot, but there was a gunshot, and I thought perhaps they were in the woods shooting. And then of course realised it's only October, it's not shooting time yet, so I don't know. It definitely wasn't the guns from the clay shooting, which we can hear, because if the wind's in a certain way, we can hear that comes over to us. So I went over, I met this lovely lady who lives in a stunning part of Norfolk, just down the road from me, less than half an hour's drive. Really, okay, she's taking things out of my car without trying to break it. Really lovely lady. She gave me all these directions, and I rang her and I went, I just want to make sure that I'm going down, the right drive. And it's right near the Thetford Forest, near the forest, and they're on forestry land, and she literally can ride out from her field straight into the forest. It was such an idyllic setting, I can't tell you. And when we were there and we were chatting, it's great. Horsey people, I love chatting to horsey people. Laura says I talk to anybody. Yeah, I know your water needs filling up. You've got some water there. And I do, because I like talking to people. I like finding stuff out. And I suppose I'm just basically quite a nosy person, which, I am nosy. So that's what happens. Gosh, I have got some stuff in here. I've got a spare pair of riding boots in case I forget a pair of riding boots. I've got all my first aid kit in here. I've got my competition hat in here. oh gosh, I've got a lot of stuff. As well as stuff for broken the nail, can't believe that. For that. So anyway, I had a lovely chat to her. She was so interesting. And we were talking, and she had, and I was saying, oh yeah, I'm training, I'm doing my training to be a saddle fitter, and found it fascinating. And she said, oh, I've got this saddle. And I thought, here we go. And I went, oh yeah. And she showed me a beautiful Bates saddle that was her husband's, that she had sitting in the tack room, because they lost the horse. The horse died last year, unfortunately, and it's been sitting in the tack room. And I looked at her and I went, can I just say one thing to you? She went, yeah. I went, can you please either change the saddle rack that you're using, or put, oh wow, that fits perfectly, or put a really thick blanket on the saddle rack that you're using. And we've all seen them, the saddle racks, and I've got them at home, and they're the shaped saddle racks. If you don't use your saddle daily, even if you do, and you put your saddle on that, straight onto it, over time, the bars on the outside of that are going to indent into your saddle. If you don't use your saddle, it would definitely indent. And I turned it over and I said to her, see what I mean? And she went, oh. I said, so, made a suggestion of what to do, and then said that. And as I left, I noticed she got a big blanket, folded it up and put the saddle on top of that. So I thought, good, I've saved a saddle somewhere along the line. I'm quite pleased with that. You see lots of people selling them on, and if you don't know, and I just think it's something you need to know about. It's really important. Gosh, I have got a lot of stuff in here. More stuff than I thought I had. But anyway, let's just see if this fits, because this is the whole point. Do my saddles fit on the new saddle rack? Oh, that's a bit of a no there. Yeah, that fits. Oh, that's good. And we've got also, I'm going to see if this one fits as well. I'm really excited. So anyway, so there you go, doing something for the planet, buying second hand, and giving a little bit of knowledge out, which isn't very much, but it's something I do think I'm really. Oh wow! Oh, that fits really. Oh, that's really good. Oh, I'm really chuffed with that. I am really chuffed with that. Should push that right back as well, so it's secure. Yeah, perfect. Happy days. It's even got hooks for my bridles to hang up on, but because they're currently sitting on the back of my headrest in the back of the car. So that's quite good. Oh yeah, we had an exciting day one day. What day was it? Tuesday? Either Tuesday or Wednesday. In the woods at the back of ours, they are owned by the Hunt. And obviously they're out early morning with them at the moment. The hunt season doesn't start until November. And I'm sure it's November. Obviously the bloodhounds are out all the time. And we've got the Nar Valley bloodhounds around here. So that's when they chase people. So they definitely follow people. And you have to be pretty fit, I think, to keep away from the bloodhounds. Because they're very, shall we say, exuberant. Anyway, so I could hear, I watched it, I came down, and my 27-year-old mare, World Horse Welfare Valentine, known to everybody as Tia, or the boss, was galloping about like a 2-year-old. Honestly, they were bonkers. They stopped for a bit, they came up, they had their, well, it's only a little bit of breakfast. Oh, Eek looks stiff. But again, she's been galloping around like a lunatic. All of Laura's horses were being sensible. It was only mine that were running around. I mean, yeah, they were close. You could see them, but they're still a field away, and it's not like they don't see them every single year. And, you just sit there and go, do you not remember this, guys? Do you not remember that, you know, why are you so, yeah, anyway. So lots of running around, lots of squealing and galloping about. Indy decided to dive bomb out of her bit. Watched her do it. What she was doing was running at the line, and just, you could see her sort of like grimace as she went under it. So if she got a shock, it was a quick shock off the electric fencing, and you just sit there and go, great, that's really helpful. So not as bit disappointed for Laura with Spike, because Spike has never ever had anything wrong with him. He's always, you know, he's always been called the perfect, I always laugh at her and call him the perfect pony, because he is always perfect. You know, whenever Ken comes out, there's nothing wrong with him. He's perfect, leg at each corner, really good boy. But so that's a bit of a shock, and also it's always really worrying as an owner. You sit there and you go, God, what's wrong, what could be wrong? And you always think the worst possible thing. And I sent Laura a message and I said to her, stop Googling everything. And she went, how did you knew I would be doing it? Well, because everybody does that. You do just worry about it, but hopefully we've got a plan, we know what to do, and it will be okay. Just looking at Indy again. She's lost the muscle at the back end. I'm really upset about that, because she's not been in any work, just doing a little bit of work, as I said. And I was really hoping to up it after Ken had been this week. In the next few weeks, starting to go out more, starting to get the muscle back on her. So it's a little bit like, oh God, here we go again. But hopefully it will be fine. She, this time, is in sync with the other horses. So Indy's shod every 4 weeks. And so it will be Friday this week. We have Jessie back out to do their feet, and we'll take it from there. We've decided against putting the gel in, and to be perfectly honest, she had been going really beautifully. I mean, when Laura and I were commenting when she was galloping about the other day with the other two, she just moved beautifully, and she moved really well on the lunge. Feeling a little bit guilty that perhaps me lunging her has not helped her back. I don't know. I'll find out and I'll keep you updated. I think it's horses, you know, everybody gets a bit depressed when your horse isn't quite right. So you've got Laura and me feeling a bit down. Lucky to have all our horses. I mean, I'm going to go and catch Eek in a minute and go out for a quick hack on her. She's not been out. She went out last week. But this week, because the hump was in there, I was going to ride on Tuesday, couldn't because they were there. And then I was a little bit busy behind doing other stuff. So could have ridden her, but didn't ride her, which is really bad. It's really bad. You have to sort of think you've got to ride because you need to be out there riding them. So I will go and do some riding in a bit after I've sorted out my car. Blueberry's now fast asleep. She's just looking at me. What's wrong with you, darling? Hang on. Sleep in the sunshine, aren't you? My little companion. So she's there. I'm just going to finish sorting out my car and getting that in some kind of order. And then I will go out for a ride. Anyway, I am the Happy Hacker. Sorry, this is a bit sort of blurry. I may not actually even record this. What I mean to say is I may not even publish this. I am the Happy Hacker. Thank you for listening. Please like, share, talk about it. Let me have your comments. You can comment on the YouTube page. It is available on my own YouTube page until I have set up my Happy Hacker with Ambition one. So you can find it on Steffi de Bootman. Please comment. I love to hear comments, and tell everybody about it. Thank you for listening. Hi, welcome to my podcast, The Happy Hacker with Ambition. Today is Sunday and we are currently playing musical chairs. Well, Laura is moving a trailer and one of the trucks out so we can get the trailer out because it's been parked straight in front of us. Eek's like, what the hell am I doing? Yes, I know, I can hear you saying, but I thought you said, Steph, you weren't going to take Eek. Well, I did a little run through yesterday with her in the school and she was just brilliant, and I thought, well, why not take her? I've entered. It's not like I'm going to be doing it every single week or weekend, so just going to do it for a little bit of fun, really, to go and have a look at this new venue that Laura and I have been looking at, and see how we go. So Eek is like, what time is it? It's just getting light now. Well, it's light now. We've poo-picked the others. It's a little bit cool, so we've left rain sheets on the poorly ones, Spike and Indie Pony. And I think Donnie's still got his rain sheet on as well. So we'll leave that until we get back. We should be back by 10:30, so that should be fine. I will update you as we go. Poor Laura's trying to load this up on her own at the moment because I've just got the pony. As you can hear, Eek's like, what the hell are we doing? Well, we were going to bath her before we went, but we decided best thing to do is just to brush her and get her there. Don't want to stress her out too much. She does, if I bath her, she tends to get really stressed out, and it's not really the right thing to do for her. It's only meant to be fun. She's now shivering. I can't believe it. Quivering, not shivering. I think that's what we need to do. Let me just check that Laura is okay. Hi, welcome to my podcast, A Happy Hacker with Ambition. This is part 3 of our Sunday evening out. Blueberry, you're going the wrong way, hon. Some dogs walking down there, so I'm going to walk Blueberry around the field. So we did get our dressage marks. They weren't quite as horrific as I thought they were going to be. We did have to wait until the entire competition had finished to get hold of our marks, which we weren't used to. I think if we'd known that, we would have all been ready for it. What I also forgot to say was I forgot to pack my water for Eek for wash down. She never wants to drink anything when she's out, but we didn't do that, so my poor horse looked terrible. Anyway, so the marks came back. I lost Laura for like ages, and the owners of the venue were showing her and the lady, the mother of the young lady behind us in the lorry park, all around the venue, and Laura was talking and saying, yes, we've been here once before because the owners have always owned it, but it was rented out to somebody else, and he basically showed her everything that they've been doing and how brilliant it was, and honestly, it's amazing how much work they've done. It's amazing how much work these people had put into such a good venue. The money that's gone into it as well. It's unbelievable. Yeah, we're going to go out and do our normal walk. We've got enough time. It's still light at the moment, so I'm just going to wander through. And we haven't actually been over here since the hunt and the shoot were out, so it should be interesting. I would like to have a look and see what they granted. Obviously Iki will have a day off tomorrow, so yeah, I came second in both classes. Did a better dressage test in the second test. Obviously my mark improved then, not by much, but by, point something of a percentage, which, I'm after anything I can get out of them, I'm quite happy with. So we went with that. As I said, I got 64% in the first one. Didn't start off well, got a 4 from the first turn, but I'm not surprised. I've never gone through a tower of flowers before, so that was quite exciting. Also, she was backing off me the whole way, and when she does that, she tends to look like she is lame. I did say that earlier on in the piece. And then the other test went a lot better. Laura is still beating herself up over completely losing her thread when she was calling for me. It has got, it's not Laura's fault. And anyway, it was you only lose 2 points for going wrong. Although I think the problem I found was I could read the comments that the writer had put, but I couldn't read what the judge had put very clearly. I kept looking at it. Perhaps tomorrow, when I haven't got such bad headache, I'll be able to have a better look at it and try and work out what she has written. But, I mean, in all fairness, comments were, they were, the marks on average is on average near enough. I used to get 67, I think it's the high, 68 that I had before with Eek. I mean, as I say, she hasn't done that for a very, very long time. Blueberry, she's just seen a monkeyjack. She won't go any further. It's disappeared into the hedge, so she's not going to go in there. So it was lovely. It is exactly, it took us half an hour to get there, half an hour to get back. I don't think that's very far at all. There's only a couple of windy little bits that we have to go along, so it's not a bad place to go to. I think it is a beautiful venue, and I keep saying, if you're in Norfolk, we're so lucky now. We're getting more and more of these professional outlets to go to, and it makes it a joy to take part. I'm not sure how everybody felt about the comments today, but then you see, that's judging, isn't it? So I'm sure, broad shoulders, but not sure you should say what was mentioned. And because I hadn't got my hearing aids in, I didn't hear the comment. So I've said to Laura, from now on, I will ride with my hearing aids in so I can hear, because that's not fair. But also, I mean, I did know I should know these tests. I've been doing them long enough. And Iki, bless her, she was quite sweet. I think she was a bit shocked that she'd been taken out and gone out. I mean, I had only ridden her yesterday, schooled her, and had a little run through because they were shooting over here. So I don't think it was, I think she did really well to get those comments. And she went, well, I've just come down now to do them this evening, and I came down and I thought, oh, Laura's let Spike out in with the other two, because she's kept him separate so that he doesn't hare about. And what she had done was he thought they were getting some grass without it, and he jumped the electric fence. So, I mean, he's a very capable jumper, a bit like Indy. He does the same thing. And he went over the top. And then apparently they'd had they must have been shooting a little bit in the corner, the boys. And Indy apparently took off. Come on. Indy took off, stirred all the other horses up, stirred up Tia, who's now slightly lame behind. But then she's been absolutely belting about recently, and she's got to remember she's an old lady, so not a good idea. And we just put Spike in, and in front of Laura and I, we put the electric fence back up. He jumped it again. I couldn't believe it. But beautifully jumped. I mean, considering he's meant to have sore feet, he jumped it beautifully from a standstill and then galloped about the field like a complete lunatic. So Laura just went, oh, great, that's great. So he's obviously not feeling too bad. But as I said, not many people would even notice that he was lame. But anyway, so we will be going off to Newmarket with him soon, I think, and seeing how that is. I will contact Ken in the morning to say, I mean, if you'd seen Indy moving this evening, you'd have said, nothing wrong with that, girl. And I felt like going, no, nothing wrong with that. Her back is less sore this evening than it was in the morning. Hopefully she will be settling down again. The other thing is she tends to tense herself quite a lot when she has hurt herself. And she stands differently. And I said to Laura, we were watching her afterwards when we got Spike back in the field for the third time. And she was standing much better leg at each corner, how I would like her to be standing, a lot more relaxed, and just looking like a happier pony. So we'll see how she is in the morning. I did put pressure down her spine, not too much this morning. I would have said that it wasn't reactive, but it wasn't 100%, so that's why obviously I didn't take her. So plans are to get a little bit more done. Obviously I've got the whole week off, got lots to do in that week, and we will take it from there. So not a disaster today like I thought it was going to be, not bad. It's interesting, I thought I was riding much more, that you could see how much I was riding today, and Laura said, doesn't look like you're doing anything on the first test. Second test, she said I could see how much more you were riding. So obviously I need to up that a bit more, and go from there. So got homework, gonna get back on Indy hopefully this week if Ken says that's okay, and we'll take Spiky down and see how he gets on. I am the Happy Hacker. Thank you so much for listening. Hopefully I have put together all these 3 segments. If not, they'll all appear as an A, B or C, but it should all work together. So thank you very much for listening. I am the Happy Hacker. Like, share and comment. Thank you.